Hey, Miss White, this is Sam Hooks doing my speech. Thank you for letting me record it and send it in to you like this. My speech is on climate change. I'm going to persuade you that Americans are not doing enough to combat climate change right now. Some of America's most important political figures right now don't believe in climate change and they don't trust our scientists, and this could have devastating results. Arctic ice is vanishing in the North Pole. The world just saw its hottest year ever recorded in history, and 121 species of animals have become extinct in the past decade alone. Presidential candidate Donald Trump believes climate change is a total hoax. Now that I've got your attention with that big name, let me tell you why it's important. As a young citizen in the world, I believe that everyone should take the initiative to have some responsibility in taking care of the world so that the earth may prosper for many generations to come. So first, I'll tell you how climate change is affecting the world. Then I'll tell you how politicians feel about climate change, and then what we can do to combat climate change. So everybody knows about the huge issue of the ice caps melting, and we've got the polar bears as a poster child for that. But what people don't know is that climate change is affecting almost every ecosystem in the world. A matter of 1 degree temperature change can kill so many different animals because their habitats depend so closely on that niche. Also, something closer to home is California's historic drought. 97% of the state is classified as being in a drought right now. But this is not the only place that this major drought has happened. South Africa, North Korea, and Brazil are all reported as having huge historical droughts. Climate change has already begun to take a huge toll on the world as animals are dying off at a much faster pace than what is natural for them to become extinct. Many places around the world are struggling to find water because of these droughts, and in turn, farmers cannot get water for cheap for their irrigation systems, which is in turn making food more expensive too. And sea levels, of course, are rising, and many coastal communities could be engulfed by the water soon. Out of the top 8 Republicans that were premiered in the last GOP debate on TV, none of them have said that they will combat climate change if they are elected. This needs to change because climate change is a huge issue, and we cannot have world leaders, especially a leader of America, that does not believe in climate change. According to Pew Research Center, only 40% of Americans believe that President Obama and his administration should view climate change as a top priority. They ranked fighting terrorists and the economy as being more important than climate change. While those two are important, climate change is a matter of saving the entire world, not just our country, so it should be more important. Everybody has heard of the ways that they can contribute to combating climate change, like turning off the lights when you're not using them or not letting the water run. But what can the government do? The government basically needs to regulate all the people that are causing climate change, such as taxing carbon emissions, fracking, and protecting the oceans. The government should also invest in renewable technology so that we have a sustainable future that we can use after we take down all of the uh, uh, fossil fuel people and stuff like that. We can take example from the Singaporean government. They're running their country very efficiently, and they have a lot of taxes in place to encourage people to be aware of climate change. Like they tax a lot of cars that produce a lot of emissions, and then they give a bonus for people that drive cars that are hybrid. So the earth is slowly withering down, and we need to do something about it. Our politicians have the power to change this, but they either don't believe in climate change or they think that the cost to fix this is too great. So we need to remind them
It's
that
4 o'clock.
this is a very important matter. Um, it wouldn't take very much to combat climate change in America. The government would just have to enforce regulations on companies. Um, our politicians are being persuaded by people that fund them to uh, to back off of climate change because they are making money off this issue. So um, some of America's most important political figures need to be reminded that climate change is still very important. I predict that there will be a revolution around the world soon by young people who care about the environment, try to force governments' hands to regulate climate change. Thank you.